You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Mike McCartney, CEO and President of PBS Hawaii Television. Mike served in the Hawaii State Senate for 10 years and co-created Hawaii's #1 locally produced TV show, Hawaii Stars.
So, Mike, they made you submit a plan before they hired you? How much time did you spend making that plan?
I thought about it in a day. And then a good friend of mine, Kalawena Komeji, because I'm a bad speller, I went down and talked to her, and I said, here's what I envision. She helped me write it up. I submitted it to the board, and then I got a call, and they said, would you like to work here? And I said, I would love to work here. And
how long ago was that?
I got hired November 20th, 2000.
And so this job was for the CEO and President position?
Yes. So I'm the first, because PBS Hawaii, or at that time Hawaii Public Television, before then was Hawaii Educational Television, was part of the state. And I had no idea when I was in the Senate that I'd work at PBS Hawaii, and we cut that out of the budget. It was part of the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, and we made it a nonprofit. It was no longer a state agency. It went from 60 employees down to about 30, and it had to stand on its own, and had no direct state support from the legislature at all. And so it was a new entity. And so Don Robbs was the previous general manager, and everybody knows Don Robbs at this station, a great man, a great personality. He was actually a state employee. He was a general manager. So I had the privilege of being the first so-called president and CEO of the entity.
Was it hard?
Still is hard. And I think, if you look at television and public television, I think there's a lot to navigate. Way back when it was created, there was a dial on the television. It was black and white TV. There were, rabbit ears, and there were, you turned the dial. There's ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS. PBS was the alternative. There wasn't even Fox. Then cable came in, color came in, all these things came in. And now, if you look at what you see on the air, National Geographic, the Food Channel, A&E, Bravo, History Channel, those are all PBS shows that PBS producers work there now. Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, copying the Kids Channel. So we have great challenges, I think, to how do we keep being a nonprofit entity and yet provide quality service through media, not really compete, but I would say complement, provide an alternative to commercial media so people can get their information and tools. Because my dad, when I was growing up in school and as a young kid, both my parents were educators. And my dad used to call the TV the idiot box. I used to sneak in the morning and watch cartoons. And to me, our goal is how do you turn the idiot box into a learning tool? And that's what I think PBS is all about. It's not about making opinions or saying this is right, this is wrong. It's for people out there to choose, and we give them information.
So, you do service the young kids with, I don't know if you say cartoons, but the educational shows,
yes.
Sesame Street, Clifford, Dragon Tales.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
And then you have the adult shows, like
yes.
the Antique Roadshow, things like that. So what about the in-between? How do you market to that in-between age?
I think that's the challenge for PBS across the country. Because if you look at media today, there's not only convergence, but everybody has niches. And everybody focuses on their niche, finds advertisers that want to market to that niche, and they go for it. PBS is probably the only entity out there that deals with very young kids looking at shows like Teletubbies, Mr. Rogers and Caillou and Clifford and, now even Cyber Chase and things like that, Sagwa. And then on the other end, you have Masterpiece Theater, and you have the News Hour, you have shows like the Antiques Roadshow or Nova. So we have a variety of shows. So what happens a lot of times, and what's happening right now with our business, is that people become members. They support us when they're very young. Their parents support us. Then they kind of go away. And now I'm hearing people call up and say, I remember Mr. Rogers. I remember this. I remember that. I do like that Frontline show that they talked about what's happening in the Iraq War. Or I like that show that they did the other day on Nova. And so we're starting to get the 40-somethings back again. Our average age of membership is in their 60s. They're the people that listen to public radio and they watch public television.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.